Can I buy you a drink?
It's very much looking forward to the afternoon. As you mentioned, very blustery conditions, a howling westerly here this afternoon at number 2. We've got the major semi-final on between the second and third finishing sides. Hamilton, of course, have the week off. And
had 2 weeks off due to the rain last week.
Well, I think we best not comment on that because
don't stoke the beast.
I don't go very well at political comments. I always get in trouble, so we'll leave that and give that a wide berth this afternoon.
You can see from your vision out there that the ground, it is a little bit of a dirt track out there.
Yeah, well, it's certainly dry. The wind's dried it out after all that rain that caused the NHRU to call it off last weekend, put everything back a week. But expecting some entertaining football nonetheless. I've been out, watched the teams warm up, Gareth.
How did they look?
Maitland have been out there for about 4 hours by the look of them. They're looking a bit fatigued, actually. Wanderers walked out with about 10 minutes.
They had to listen to the end of their backing music in the dressing sheds.
Well,
a bit of crunk hip hop, I think it was.
That's what gets them going. But no, Maitland have been out. They look very intense in their warm up. It looks like they've come to play. Wanderers, they only wandered out there about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, some big matchups out there as well, Jared, and none other than Ben Ham coming back into this side up against the other form, number 8 in the competition in the Lord Mayor of High Street, Travis Brook.
Yeah, the Ben been everywhere.
Ben everywhere, Ham man, yeah.
He's back and very much looking forward to his input this afternoon. It will be a cracking clash between the number 8s. There's plenty of them all over the park this afternoon, Gareth.
Yeah, it definitely is. You got Nick Davidson there against this young back row, Sam Schmidt and Piers Morrell. Both of those guys tireless in their efforts through the regular season this year.
They've both impressed me. They've been outstanding every match we've covered for them, but they are playing against who is fast becoming an old stager, plenty of experience. He's the warrior, he's the Viking, he's the weapon. Nick Davidson, he's my call for open side flanker of the year, without a doubt.
Yeah, special mention too, the hookers out there. Dan Runchell coming back into this Maitland side late in the season. Of course, the veteran now for this Maitland side. He's put down the guitar, he's put down the singing voice, and he's here to play football today. And I tell you what, in these blustery conditions, you wouldn't want anyone else throwing in those lineouts than Dan Runchell out there today.
Well, as we said on the way in, Gareth, the Elders Insurance big truck was getting blown around in the wind.
It was.
And I wouldn't like to be a hooker or a kicker this afternoon. It's going to be a very tough afternoon. And of course, Dan Runchell does fill the veteran role. He's had to come back in late in the season. They'll lose nothing there. He's a quality player. Up against Dave Waller in the number 2. Another one I'm looking forward to is the halfbacks. Sinclair George has been outstanding all year.
He's been one of the finds of the year, hasn't he, for the Wanderers side?
He certainly has. And, pick and stick. I picked them months ago and I said they'll win.
You've got them winning the comp still.
I've got them winning the comp.
Well, they've got to get past today, and I think the Maitland side probably on paper.
That's the
better of the two sides.
Well, you know my call. Who's going to win this afternoon then?
I think you're going to say the Wanderers. I'm going to say Maitland.
Well, there you go. 50-50, ladies and gentlemen. 50-50, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be an intense afternoon. And, there'll be no soap involved. There might be a twoies or two. But
definitely, I mean, the midfield battle between Manu, Keogh, Hicks and Chris Logan, of course. Chris Logan been a little bit down on form this year compared to, I guess, his breakout season last year. And Chase Hicks stood him up a couple of times in the last time they matched, so certainly one they have to watch out for. And of course, in that first round game, we saw Karl Manu winning it on his own.
They were kissed on the prick by a fairy in that first game, actually. Manu scoring late. Wanderers were all over them, but I think that'll be the difference this afternoon. Rarely does Karl Manu have a bad game, but the last time we commentated up at Lawn, he had a bit of a shocker, dropped some ball, and Logan has had handling troubles, and I think that will be the difference because for mine, Keogh has been the outstanding centre of the season, and I think him and Chase Hicks getting it over Manu and Logan this afternoon will be the difference in the two teams.
Yes, certainly, and they have speed out wide. Big change coming into this game. Dalibosic goes back to the bench and Ashworth comes into the side. Last minute change downstairs where we went and saw the coaches before. So Dalibosic on the bench, Ashworth with the experience will be starting. Probably not as much pace pace as what Dalibosic possesses, but definitely the experience factor there coming into play from the very astute Dan Beckett.
Yeah, well, that's a big call from Dan Beckett, the coach of the Wanderers side, because Dalibosic, we saw him play and had a fair game. He's certainly held his own a couple of weeks ago at Passmore against the Hamilton side. But experience all important in the semi-finals.
Yeah, certainly is. And a special shout out to the Maitland wives up at the Imperial Hotel up in Maitland, enjoying the coverage on Bar TV Sports up there. Of course, you can turn the volume down and listen to yourselves talk, or listen to the dulcet tones of Jared and myself.
Yeah, well, the boys are tipping they won't hear the call because there'll be plenty of chatter, but I'm sure they'll be tuning in and watching at the Imperial this afternoon, as will a lot of people. We being an internet
international
TV company, we do go international, worldwide and live this afternoon, and a big call out to all our international listeners, and especially a former outstanding number 8 for the Nelson Bay Grovers side, Benny Lucas. It was his birthday through the week. He's back in the old dart, and I hope you had a cracker, Benny, so a big call out to you, mate.
Yeah, definitely, and of course the families out there, Ignacio Battolina's family around the TV in Mendoza.
Quite an international feel to the competition this year. All sides have a few imports.
Of course, the New Zealand contingent for this Maitland side as well.
Yes, so as we say, everybody listening in, I hope you enjoy the game. It is going to be an absolute cracker. We spoke through the semi-final series last year about the NHRU rubbing their hands together about the quality of the football being played.
Well, I think it could top it this year.
We expect nothing less. At least as good, I would say. But
of course, we've got the big match coming up tomorrow as well. Don't forget to tune into that. Lake Macquarie taking on the Merriweather Carlton side in a do-or-die fixture. So big rugby weekend on Bar TV Sports.
Yes, of course, this afternoon's winner will go on to play Hamilton next week. We're having I'm not sure how it was put, a contact training run. A semi-contact training run this afternoon. Back to the sunny side. Back to the sunny side to watch the game, obviously, but no, they're having a little run this afternoon against Terrigal, I believe. Bubba's organised that.
Yeah, they came together, both sides affected by the rain, and the rain affected weekend last weekend, so looking to tune each other up from the different divisions. It'll be interesting to see. Maybe they might play a real game after the season's finished. The Battle of the Coast.
I think it might be fairly serious this afternoon, Gareth. Once you know what it's like, you can say I played a game of league tag, Union v League at Rugby Park one day, and Johnny Evans off the opening kickoff smashed him, and so that was the end of the tagging. But I'd say they'll get fairly serious this afternoon wherever they are playing that game. But what we're concentrating on here this afternoon is what's right in front of us, and that's a chance to take on Hamilton next weekend for a spot in the grand final. It'll be an intense game, it'll be highly entertaining, but the wind is going to be the biggest factor this afternoon, I think.
Yeah, it's supposed to die off after today, and I'll tell you what, we spoke about it on the way over to the ground. What would you rather, play in the rain or play in the wind? I know where I'd rather be today.
It was a unanimous in the rain.
Yeah, in the rain.
It was in the rain.
Well, but, I mean, definitely a heavy tracker, that's for sure.
We know, boys, very few of them grow up, and we always like playing in the mud. I've never had a better afternoon on a rugby field than playing in the mud, especially as a forward. The backs don't enjoy it too much. But
the backs don't get dirty.
Well,
we know that.
They wear dinner suits.
And a little bit of time taken here for the two sides to come out onto the field. Kick-off time delayed, of course. It is semi-final action here today. And it's a good story, isn't it, the Wanderers? They were written off at the start of the year not to make the semis, probably struggling maybe to make the top 6. They were getting 10 to 12 people at training in the off-season. There was players not coming, not turning up, and they've come back. And the veterans have certainly shown up for them this year, but these young fellas that they've got as well, they turn up a very good prop in Alex Reid. Sinclair George we spoke about before. Keogh, who's in the centre, he's been one of the best of the year in the year as well. So certainly overachieved, do you think, or do you think playing to their ability?
Well, even our good mate Jimmy Gardner, who is Wanderers through and through, he he called in the Newcastle Herald at the start of the year for them to finish 6th. But we saw on that first game we covered this year at Lawn that they stuck it right up Maitland, and hats off to Dan Beckett, because he's put this side together and they've all overperformed in my view, and impressed me so much. As I said, pick and stick. I called them premiers 3 months ago and I'm staying with it.
And of course the Maitland side led by Matt Thomas out there as well. You've had a bit to do with him in your coaching career, Gerard, and
I have.
They want to go one better this year, the Maitland side, of course, making the grand final last year after a few years not in the wilderness but not in the top level that they're accustomed to. And do you think this year they'd be disappointed with where they finish on the table, or they're sitting pretty to make the strike come finals time?
Well, one thing I do know is they'll still be hurting from the big dance last year where Hamilton got the better of them, and again that's my big factor this afternoon is Maitland's ball control. It cost them in the grand final last year, but we know what a quality side they are, and if they can control the football, well, they're every chance this afternoon.
Yeah, certainly will. And will they play that Maitland tough style up the middle, picking and driving? Do you think that's where they go today, or do they use this back line of Manu, Logan, Chris Martin, Lachlan Bradford, very exciting young fullback as well?
Yeah, well, I think Maitland will play it tight. I think in their minds they've got the best forward pack on the park this afternoon. It is a cracking forward pack. Wanderers lacking nothing in that department too.
I mean, you've got Kevel, Batalina, he's been there for a good 5 years. Blair Rush moving up to the front row, and he's done so with I guess great gusto, as you'd say it, Gerard.
Well, Blair Rush has been Ben Ham's able assistant all season, and he's had a cracker of a year. And of course we've got Dan Kevel back, and I realised through the week if you put his first letter of his first name and swap it with his last name, you've got the Devil, which plenty of people would agree with, Gareth. But
yeah, certainly he's a menacing figure out there, isn't he, when he plays, and he's no stranger to controversy. He's kept his head and he's come back, hasn't played for a number of years, he's come back and he's absolutely lit this competition up. He's got that offload, he offers the Wanderers, I guess, a third dimension in their forward play and their attack.
Well, I say the 1-2 punch, and nothing away with Reed, Waller, Batalino and the breakaways that we spoke about before, but Blair Rush has been the everywhere man's
swag. He's been the everywhere man's swag.
Well, at least
just travelling around with him, never too far away.
I wouldn't like to be carrying him, but no. Kevel adds a lot to this pack, and as we spoke about...
Well, he's last of the old school, isn't he? He's one of the last players in this competition that I guess that can put a bit of fear in the opposition. He's tough, he's hard.
Well, I don't know about fear, but they know where he is on the park. If you've got the ball under your arm, you know where he is, and you're probably unlikely to run at him. But no, I love his work, love the way he plays, and as you say, old school through and through.
Yes, certainly, and another player out of the same mould for this Maitland side. Looking forward to see what he does in this major semi-final is, of course, Nick Davidson. If you mention old school, there's no one older school than Nick Davidson. He's so old school he doesn't even train.
Well, as I said, I walked out and had a look at the teams warming up, and he spent most of the time out there stretching his neck. So, as we say about him, he's one of my favourites. Anybody who listens into Bar TV know that he's one of my favourites. And he'd put his head where most people wouldn't put their hands. He's just a goer. He'll go all day. And don't worry, Maitland might be looking for Dan Kevel, but the Wanderers side will be looking where Davidson is, because, as I said, rated the best open side flanker in the competition in 2019 for mine.
For a number of years as well.
Had a few calls we made last year, I think, might have made him lift his game. The twist up at Nelson Bay, we called him the best open side flanker. And
well, there's not much between them, is there? And of course, Sam Dart as well from the Greens. He's another one that is a good breakaway in this competition. So plenty of talent, and everyone's going to have to be on their game.
Well, and, we're talking about open side flankers. The blind side flanker in the Maitland side, John Birrell, he's He's a very handy footballer, and almost got our man of the match up there at Lawn. But no, matchups all over the park this afternoon, and as we say, very much looking forward to the first semi-final, major semi-final of the NHRU competition this afternoon. I don't quite know what the delay is here. The Wanderers side were out of the sheds late to the warm-up park.
It's a delayed kick-off here because of the semi-finals. Obviously, you can go into extra time. That is why we're starting at 3:15. Of course, big news coming out of Anna Bay. There's been an unfortunate helicopter accident out there.
Yeah, horrific tragedy at Anna Bay this afternoon. Very sad. Don't forget to comment. You can always join us this afternoon on Bar TV if you'd like to throw in a comment on commentary or the game. Participate this afternoon.
Yeah, get on the Facebook site, get on the YouTube. Of course, tweet us at Bar TV Sports. Send the text message into the text line, and everything you want. We'll get your name up in lights up here today. Of course, this game brought to you by Rams. The final series brought to you by Rams. This coverage brought to you by the Titan Group. And you are looking at the Street Property Scoreboard, which is looking to tick over.
Yeah, well, we had a bit of trouble with the scoreboard last season in the semi-finals here at the number 2 sports ground, the head of the NHRU, the headquarters, and it's a blanket blackout this afternoon on the scoreboard. We've got nothing, but of course the Street Property Scoreboard will keep you at home up to date.
Yeah, of course, if you can't see the scoreboard at the ground, you can of course see it. Developed by Bar TV Sports. It is patented by Bar TV Sports. A very good piece of technology by the kings of live stream media in Bar TV Sports. And we see the referees coming out onto the field now. Louis Nelson, the touch judge. He's slated as the second best referee in the competition. Will probably do the grand final. Jared Logan taking care of this game today, and the Wanderers let out by their skipper, Ben Ham.
Yeah, I watched him walk out under the warm-up over. He looked very intense. He had his mind on the job.
He's an intense character, isn't he?
Well, we know what he'll provide this afternoon. He'll provide leadership. He'll provide direction.
He's the starch man, isn't he?
He's full. He has a shower. He has a bath in starch every after the game. But no. Jared Logan, of course, another casualty of the decision last week.
Yeah, he was going for his 6th grand final in a row, but unfortunately he's going to take the opportunity to go down to Adelaide for the NRC down there. So the Blacks now let out by their skipper, Karl Manu. Of course, on this Rams NHRU final series, the broadcast brought to you by the Titan Group, and of course Street Property and Bandlaw Engineering to top it off here at number 2 sports ground. Well, they say it's the home of rugby, and it certainly is the home of rugby here this afternoon. As we go out to the middle, we see Jared Logan. The two sides going into the huddle. It'll be Maitland to kick off here, running towards the Market Town end. The Wanderers, of course, running towards the Merriweather end, the better part of town, and Maitland running back towards their home ground.
They're not even playing this afternoon. He can't help themselves, and I will apologise, ladies and gentlemen at home. We know what colour Gareth is. He's green through and through. Some would call him yellow, but no.
That's just my teeth. That's just my teeth after a big night, Jared. Here we go. Here to kick off. And is it the two Blues? Kebble on the sideline. So here we go, and it's showtime here. Oh, over the top there. the far side. So now the Blacks with the first opportunity inside the 22. We'll see exactly how they play here, and they go tough. They go straight to Howe, and Howe drives forward, gets through the advantage line, and Brooke looking to back him up here. Going one out here, the Maitland Blacks, and looks to be a little bit isolated as he struggles to get to the ground, and they go back towards Manu. Stafford, that is an intercept. Now, I don't think it'll be quite shut the gates as Logan comes across. It may well be. Ashworth showing plenty of speed, and Ashworth scores! Well, completely against the run of play, Jared.
That is a turn up. Wanderers made a meal of the kick-off in these blustery conditions. Maitland came up with the ball, and Wanderers, perfect openings of the game, runs 80 metres.
I'd give him 90. He came off his try line there, as we see on the Bamlaw replay, and that's quickly 5-0 to the two Blues, and Simmons with a tough task on the sideline in this win. But wow, that just silenced this Maitland crowd.
It certainly hushed the Black crowd here this afternoon. I'll settle on 85, all right? Just to settle that. We'll settle on 85 metres. He's gone 85 metres. Shocked the whole crowd here. Maitland standing there wondering what's happened. Very tough kick coming up for Simmons. What we've got, howling, absolute howling, westerly here this afternoon, probably slightly favouring the Wanderers side early, but he's kicking into the teeth of the breeze, and it'll be a very tough conversion for him.
And we've got our first tweet of the day too, live at the Kremlin, I believe we're streaming into today.
Welcome to all the boys at the Kremlin and downtown Shoal Bay.
As we see now, Simmons comes in to kick, he strikes it, goes flat, and you can see that breeze not letting it get anywhere near those sticks there.
No. Well, certainly he wasn't backing me in. I didn't ask you because I knew we'd both back him out. He's probably a bit nervous after his last kick here in the semi-finals last year still. Do you think it'd still be playing on his mind when he missed that one to win the minor semi-final?
Yeah, definitely. A few nerves coming in to this game. Bradford kicks it downfield. Now the Wanderers will want a better restart here, even though they got the spoils, and this goes to Reid. Reid pumps his legs, and that's a good run there by the prop forward.
Yeah, good metres.
Well, they go in behind. Waller Cavill has to reach for it, and Logan tries to rip the ball out of his hands, but too strong in the tackle there, Dan Cavill. And this is good tough defence by the Maitland Blacks as well. Plenty of good line speed out there. Here comes Cavill again. They've met him nicely up off the advantage line, the Blacks, and they pick and drive now, the Wanderers. Ben Ham, he's the man that takes them forward over the out line. Here comes Blair Rush, and that's that 1-2 punch you spoke about, Jared, as the ball comes out, and now Stafford with an opportunity. They go wide. Logan steps back on the inside, loses his footing, gets back up and gets them up to the 22, but it's a penalty. I thought advantage could have been played a little bit longer there, Jared.
Yeah, well, I'm with you there, Gareth, but the referee Logan's pulled that up. Poor ball control there from the Wanderers side. Plenty of pressure in defence from the Blacks.
Well, you mentioned Nick Davidson looking like a Viking. He's even more. He's taken on the role.
He's almost as bushy as our Shoal Bay Uber driver, young Kerry Shepherd. But no, he must have listened to our call a few weeks ago, and he's let it all grow out. He's looking very wild this afternoon. We've got an injury to one of the Blacks out there, just holding play up here, ladies and gentlemen. But poor ball control for the Wanderers, and they got out of jail a couple of minutes ago with an intercept, but they keep handing the ball over to the Maitland side. They'll capitalise on it for sure, but as I spoke about this win favouring the Wanderers, what are we putting the Breeze at this afternoon, Gareth?
The Breeze a good 23 points.
The Blizzard.
That's a good kick for the sideline too, so they opted against was kicking the goal, which I thought may have been the chance here, but with this wind they decided against it, and this is a line out 5 metres out. You'll expect them to bind on and create the driving maul. Oh, that's a lovely steal by the two Blues, who again show determination off their own line. And Ben Ham, he'll take them forward. He's slammed on his back, loses the ball. Kia somehow picks that one up, drives forward and gets them out of trouble.
Yeah, out of jail again there. Fantastic steal, and the Wanderers in the line out.
Oh, just a bit of hesitation there, and that one comes off the side of the boot of Simmons and goes towards the touchline. That is an exceptional kick.
Well, he's used the breeze well there, and if anybody knows the breeze here at number 2, it will be the Wanderers fullback in Luke Simmons.
Breezy Simmons, I think they call him.
Breezy. Easy or breezy?
Yeah, they got corrected by him before earlier on. He's actually 31, not 33, and that's it.
There we go. He's let it go. That was Maitland have come up with a pill there.
Oh, a little knock on at the back, and this will be the first scrum of the game, and plenty of pats on the head and high fives and no bum pads just yet.
Well, we just had a little visit from 2 of the Singleton Bull legends, Mark Jordan and Big Bullfrog Andrews. Come and said g'day. So, welcome aboard, boys. We might get them in for a little bit of a sideline comment later, but yeah, that, as we spoke about earlier, being a hooker this afternoon is going to be a tough job. Logan let that one go. I reckon it went a metre to Maitland's side, but
yeah, not straight. It's about as straight as San Francisco, as they say. Is that one good scrum by the Maitland pack? The two Blues, they've been good at the set piece this year.
About as straight as Gareth Wozig on a night out in San Francisco.
Here we go, and now Ashworth again with another opportunity. He's going well so far. Late inclusion, tackled over the sideline though.
Yeah, again, very tough conditions here this afternoon. They're going to be short, sharp passes. There'll be very few long passes, but Maitland with the line out and Brook off the top.
Yeah, nice one there, and now McCormick takes it to the line. Oh, that is a lovely hit on. It was John Birrell just laid out, but they make some good ground off the back of the run and counter-rucking by the two Blues. It's a bit scrappy at the back, so they're forced to pick and drive here, the Blacks.
Laid out by Ben Ham, an exceptional tackle, but he did well, Birrell, there to hang on to it. The Blacks retain possession.
Yeah, tough player, John Birrell. So just inching up the ground now, the Blacks. Short passing, as you mentioned, and they go forward again. They're taking a few metres off this two Blues defensive line. Here comes Brook, runs back towards his pack, offloads to Stafford. Stafford with a bit of space. He's taken down, so you'll see the pick and drive come here again, you'd imagine. And this is a very good play by the Maitland Blacks. Good composure.
Yeah, this is what we're going to watch all afternoon, I'd imagine. Short and sharp, pick and drive, inch
good
by inch.
Rucking by the two Blues. They're going to call that diving over. So that's a let-off there as Maitland forced the pressure, forced the penalty.
Logan's found an indiscretion there.
Yeah, left his feet.
Yeah, well, you can't do that anymore. Back in the old days, you used to be able to do that, but rules have changed since you and I played, Gareth.
Logan not mic'd up without the microphone out there, so we're not turned on. He's got the microphone, so we'll try and sort that out at half-time for our viewers out there. And that's a very good kick towards the sideline. And again, can the Maitland team capitalise this time? Third shot at it. And again, not the best throw. Ben Ham comes up with it. Yeah, that's a high shot there. And Logan will use all his experience there and just give the warning to the Maitland side.
Yeah, Ben Ham done well there. Pick up the scraps at the back of the line out. Simmons with a raking touch finder. Gets some 5 metres into the Blacks' territory.
Yeah, nice kick down the field. Again, So Blair Rush really worked on the set piece, the two Blues, and somehow finds Ben Ham at the back, and Reed goes forward.
Yeah, beautiful work there. Big Blair come up with a great trail hand.
Sherwood takes the line on and steps back inside. Quick ball now, Keogh runs straight into Manu. Gee, that's a good battle, isn't it, Jared?
It'll be a fantastic battle all afternoon. Old stager against the newcomer.
Oh, good ball by Battleina, just good changing of hands, and Waller now picks and drives, finds a bit of space, offloads. Piers Morrell taken just outside the 22. That one spits out. Calls of knock on, but I thought it was touched by the Maitland player. Now Sherwood with a bit of space. Simmons to Keogh. Keogh straightens up, spins around. This time he's taken inside the 22 now. So two Blues there showing good composure as well. Sherwood calling for the ball, gets it to Ham, and Ham, he's cut in half that time. Quick ball to Sherwood. Sherwood playing nice and flat. Dave Waller looking for the offload, gets it. Oh, support on the outside. Chase Hicks could have gone over then.
Yeah, couldn't get it to him, lost the pill in the end. Maitland come up with it on their own try line. Fantastic work, though, by the Wanderers side. Scrappy at the finish, though.
It was taken out by a Maitland player, Manu. Oh, that is a terrible option. Terrible option by the most experienced player out there.
He's put Clackety under all sorts of pressure there, and he's come up with the error. But Logan now, what's the call here, Gareth? I'm not quite sure. We haven't got him mic'd up.
Well, I think it's
calling a scrum.
A scrum. It's a knock-on, obviously. And I think it's a knock-on to... Yeah, the two Blues look like they're lining up to attack, do they?
Yeah, well, it's scrum to the Wanderers' side.
So I thought the Wanderers knocked on before, but...
Well, so did I, but Logan has picked Maitland for the knock-on, giving them the scrum feed, but Manu with a terrible decision there. But they've got away with it at this stage, with the Wanderers with a chance.
Well, they'll have to switch on at this engagement, because they'll push backwards by the Maitland pack. This is a better effort by the two Blues. Now Sherwood to Keogh looking for the crash ball. Oh, good tackle by Manu. Round the legs had to be made. Now it comes to Kevill. Kevill with good hands, and here they go again. Chase Hicks this time goes over.
Great hands by the Devil, and out to Hicks, and he strolled over untouched in the finish. But Maitland, we spoke about it all through the semi-final series last year, Gareth. Their online defence was just outstanding, but they couldn't come up with the numbers there. Wanderers having numbers to the left, and Hicks over. Simmons with another kick, tough kick to come.
Well, they made it harder than they had to, as you can see on the Banlaw replay. Kevill with nice hands in the end, and Chase Hicks, just the numbers did it, didn't they?
Yeah, as I said, strolled over untouched in the finish. So Wanderers now take it out to 10 points to 0, and as we said, a very blustery westerly blowing this afternoon, blowing across the ground, but definitely favouring Wanderers in this first half. So they've got to take advantage of it. It'll be a long second half for them, so they've got to have some points on the board in this first half. Simmons lining up now, 5 in from touch on the 22. Similar
spot to before. He'll try and learn from that, you'd imagine.
Yeah, well, you can learn all you like, but kicking into this breeze, I'm backing him out.
I'm backing him in.
Well, there you go. You owe me a schooner. That's
well, you still owe me 2 from last time.
Well, so if you keep calling them like that, I'll finish up in front today, so you'll be buying them on the way home. But 10-0 to the two Blues, and Maitland to kick off again.
Yeah, the Wanderers, they want to get this one right because they put themselves under some undue pressure, and 10-0 with the breeze to their back, and this one holds up in that breeze and they can't find it, but Jared Logan's found something there, and it's in front of the kicker. You don't see that too often.
No, well, I thought he missed it last time. Maitland were a little bit eager the last kick-off after the last try. There were 3 or 4 players offside for mine, and he might have got a call from his touchies and kept a better eye on him that time. So a scrum to the Wanderers on halfway, and that's pretty ordinary. We're talking first grade here here, and that's an under 8 mistake.
Yes, it certainly is, and the Maitland fans here shaking their heads, and nothing going quite right for this black side at the moment.
Well, we do have a couple of Maitland old boys to our left here directly in commentary, and they were full of confidence about 15 minutes ago, but like the rest of the Maitland crowd, they've gone a little quiet.
Well, anyway, so we go back to the action.
Still full of confidence, allegedly.
And the scrum is just a little bit unstable underfoot out there at the moment.
Yeah, well, the Wanderers got the better of them in the last scrum there deep in Maitland territory, so this one will be interesting with two heavy-set packs going at each other all afternoon here at number 2.
It's certainly a very good battle as Sinclair George with the ball looking to feed, and the Maitland side looking to put pressure, and that's a good scrum off short arm to Maitland. So Logan picking up something of an infringement there. Quick tap by Stafford, off the mark, and he's to the letter of the law today, isn't he, Mr. Logan?
Oh, he's on his game. He's the number 1 in the competition of the referees for a reason. Maitland old boys are disagreeing with us, but no, he's definitely the top referee. I thought he was the lowest man on the park in that last scrum.
Who, Logan?
Logan, he was the lowest man.
I thought you were talking about
he was the
his personality.
No,
I take great offence to that.
He's positioning.
Yeah. He was right down into it, wasn't he? And
he was lower body height, I'm talking, Gareth. But no, he's certainly our number 1, and he's getting a crack at a higher level, and we're not unfortunately going to have him for the grand final, as we mentioned earlier.
Interesting. I'm picking Louis Nelson to have a crack. He's been improving each year, so that was a better scrum for the Blacks, and taking them on there. Logan stepping away, and he's met in a very good tackle by Sherwood, who's
shortened up by Sherwood there.
Yeah, so Manu now, he steps around looking to create something off his own bat, get his team back into it. All over the top, there's Keogh. Yeah, he's got a call from the touch judge there, high tackle, but he kind of just wrapped his arm around, and Stafford takes the quick one up towards the 22, so here come the Blacks there.
Keogh in there again, a couple of solid tackles.
Yeah, he's a weapon, isn't he?
He is a weapon.
Here comes Davison now, and Davison does well and gets them on the front foot.
Talking about weapons, Runchell now makes a metre or 2.
So here comes Brook now, cut by Ben Ham round those legs and just torpedoing his body, and now they've got some space out wide. Oh, that's a poor pass, goes behind Logan, and they have to clean up, and they'll have to reset here, the Maitland Blacks, as they reach the 22, and advantage being played.
Tough conditions with spreading the ball. The backs are going to struggle all afternoon. Davidson takes it forward for the Blacks now,
as they pick and drive, and both sides showing very good composure, as we said before. And McCormick out the back to Manu again, another poor pass. McCormick picks up though, and they've lost about 10 metres here, the Blacks, so just not sticking at the moment.
Retain the ball through. Runchell makes a metre.
Well, that
and there's a knock on there.
No,
Logan's.
It wasn't a knock on. It wasn't a knock on. It was stripped out by the two Blues.
I'm calling it a knock on. You can call it whatever you like. Anyway, Blacks carry on.
There's Birrell to Davison. Davison always hit hard, bounces away, and he places the ball back, and now Brook goes forward. Brook, he's been targeted by Ham. It's a very good battle out there going on. Here's Chapman with his first run of the day. Former Shoot Shield player. Now Manu comes out the back steps. Ben Ham comes across, and that's a very good hit by the Wanderers skipper, leading by example here. Here's Christensen, former Wanderer. And Manu again looking for plenty of touches. Dale gets up the middle, but somehow an arm comes out and grabs him by the shirt.
Yeah, the Blacks applying pressure. Stafford now to the right.
Good little run by Stafford, pops it up. So finding holes around the ruck, and here comes Davidson again, driven back and offloads to Christensen, throws a silly pass. Is it going to pop up? It might not have to. Simmons, can he go all the way? He's looking around. It's going to hold up, and Simmons will score. Completely against the run of play again.
Well, it was a poor pass from one of our favourites, Davidson, and it was a worse pass by Marcus Christensen, and Simmons toes it ahead, runs 70, thought it was going to go dead for all money, but it's held up in the end goal, and he's got there first. The Wanderers with two tries.
Chris Martin was coming across in pace, but Simmons, he wound back the clock there. 31, it looked like he was 21, Jared.
He was flying. There was nobody going to beat him to the ball. The biggest thing was whether it was going to stay in the field of play, and as we've seen on the Bandlaw replay, it stayed in the end goal. Simmons wins the race, and the Blacks now down 15-0.
Well, in this win, they're certainly up against it now, aren't they?
Well, as we said, Wanderers have got the win in the first half, and they need to make every opportunity, but they've had two tries against the run of play. Maitland applying pressure, and the Wanderers are 22, and just sloppy ball, big bad passes, bad decisions by the Maitland side, and Simmons with a couple of two chips, one little chip, one big chip, and it stayed in, and he's won the race.
It almost bounced up into his hands, and it probably benefited him that he had to put it on the poop, because Chris Martin was coming across, as we saw on the Bandlaw replay, and
so his third kick from about the exact same position into the teeth of this.
You going to back him in?
No, he's out, mate. He's out.
Third time lucky?
He's out all day.
Yeah.
Out all day. But
he's hit that one nicely. Comes around, and that's his best of the day.
well, I do believe that I'm in front now. You owe me a schooner, Gareth.
I don't believe that I said. I would take him that time.
Well, we have to go to the Bandlaw replay to find out whether you did or not. Sure.
Of course, the broadcast brought to you here today by the Titan Group, Rams Home Loans, and indeed Street Property. Scoreboard reading 15-0 at the moment as Bradford takes the kick, and that one goes nice and deep. There's three Wanderers around it, and Battolina, he's the man that comes up with it. And the Maitland side, well, how can they come back? Oh, that's a big look there, and there's been some heavy defence out there, but that's uncharacteristic there. I think it was Morrell, was it, that dropped that one? Yeah, Piers Morrell with a mistake.
Piers Morrell's coughed it up, and I think it might have been Nick Davidson in his face. He's had a bit of a look there. So again, the Blacks with an opportunity to apply some pressure and come up with their first points of the afternoon. But I don't care who's kicking off. I wouldn't like to be catching it, Gareth, this afternoon. We can see on your screens how difficult it is out there, ladies and gentlemen. So here come the Blacks. Chance for points.
So Stafford, another good scrum by both sides. This time the Blacks with a secondary drive, and Travis Brook goes down the short side. There's a bit of space. Bradford, he's nicely accounted for. Dan Runchell now. Good strong run by the veteran hooker, Manu. And it's a penalty to Maitland. 15-0 down. What do? Take the scrum?
Oh, 15-0 down, mate. You're taking the scrum every day of the week. Apply some pressure.
And they have done exactly that.
Correct decision, Gareth. Oh,
that secondary push then too, the Maitland scrum starting to maybe get on top of this Wanderers pack.
Well, I'm calling it even so far in the opening 25 minutes or so here between the two scrums, but see how the Blacks, they'll be doing their best to get the ascendancy in this one.
Just checking to see if you had your blue singlet on underneath there today, Jared.
I'm going back to bricklaying. I'm not a truck driver anymore these days, so I've put the blue singlets back in the closet.
So Stafford with the feed again, and Logan not happy with something there at the set piece.
He's being very specific with his rulings this afternoon. The Maitland crowd not agreeing with a lot of them.
Specsavers referees, they've had a very good year this year, again, and we thank them each week just for turning up. It's a thankless game.
Well, it's a thankless job, that's for sure. But and thanks to Specsavers for supporting our referees and sponsoring them. And Stafford at the back now, Maitland pack marching forward.
Oh, good little set play there for Manu. Will it hold up? Yes, it will. And Manu goes over. Lovely little set piece. You saw them all coming as one. And McCormick with a little chip in behind. I guess that's a credit to the Wanderers' defence, but Maitland hit back.
Yeah, well done to the Maitland side. And all of a sudden there's smiles to my left with blokes wearing black jumpers. But, yeah, Maitland, they've for mine, they've had the field position. They've had the possession. Wanderers in front 15-0. Finally, they've capitalised on that field position and possession and come up with a fantastic try to the old stager, Manu.
Well, they've converted 1 from 5 in the opposition 22 now, and probably would like to get that stat up a little bit as the game goes on, and they have to if they're to be any shape in this match. And they haven't played badly, the Maitland side here so far in the half, but a couple of mistakes have really cost this side, and the two Blues have capitalised and find themselves in front as Bradford comes in and makes no mistake of that kick. So 15-7 the score now, and this final has lit up.
All of a sudden the Blacks are back in it. As we said, they've had the best of the field position and possession. A few lucky breaks to the Wanderers side, but the Blacks now, that'll get their tails up. It'll certainly put the smiles on the faces of the Black supporters, got them a little bit more vocal. Simmons to kick off, goes short.
Yeah, that's a good kick along the ground. Somehow he comes up with that.
Travis Brook has done an exceptional job there.
I'll have to get him signed up for the Maitland cricket side after that one. Throw him in the slips, bat pad.
He had to get the go-go gadget arms out to get a finger on it, but he's been injured here in taking that ball.
He fell on it funny there, awkwardly, so...
Hasn't moved. He's copped a head knock by the look of it, so...
Yellow card.
Yellow card?
Coming across. Is that Kevill? Yes, it is.
Oh,
is that a yellow card by reputation or default?
Well, they do call him the devil, allegedly.
You call him the devil.
So, Dan Kevill, he's going to have a spell. But Travis Brook in all sorts of trouble, and as always, we hope he's okay. Trainers and the medical staff out there attending to him at the moment, but he has not moved since he hit the ground.
Yeah, Logan's calling the high tackle. We might be able to pick him up there. It is quite windy though.
Oh, I don't know yet. I don't know. Yeah.
So, a big turn of events here, ladies and gentlemen, at the number 2 sports ground in the major semi-final. The Blacks with a try and a conversion gets them back to 15-7, and now we've got Wanderers reduced to 14 men. Thankfully, Travis Brook back to his feet and looks okay.
Yeah, he's up and about. As we hear, it was a high shot out there. So that one off the side of the boot does its job.
He's got him within about 3 metres of the halfway line. But, again, I wouldn't like to be throwing the ball in the line out. We'll see how this one turns out. But Maitland with a man advantage. Brook is back in the game straight away off the top. Takes it forward there.
As they drive forward now, the Maitland Blacks. Comes out the back to Manu. They're finding it hard to put him down with the first effort, and they do so now, and he's up to the 40, calling for the penalty there. He's on the wrong side. Yeah, they've got the advantage, the Maitland side, and Chapman goes without it.
Yeah, it's a good thing Stafford's pass was a bit low to the big fella.
Diving all over the ruck there, the two Blues. And
so more pressure now for the Wanderers side. Maitland, they're back in the game, coming hard.
McCormick really screeching for that penalty there, and they go for the scrum again, so really trying to wear down this two Blues pack, and they have the man advantage as well. Looks like Piers Morrell will be forced to pack into the second row.
Yeah, well, this is certainly going to change things in the scrums, being a man down with Kevil on the sidelines for 10 minutes.
Do you go with no lock, or do you go with the two breakaways? I'd be more inclined to put Ben Ham in at number 8.
You've got to have a lock for mine.
Yeah.
You've got to have a lock. Even lose a winger. Put a winger on the...
Throw a winger on the side, you're right.
Throw a winger on the blind side and Ben Ham at number 8. That'd be my call, but Stafford feeds it now.
Yeah, good scrum here as now they'll go for the secondary push. The Wanderers doing well to hold on. Not getting driven back to March, and McCormick now has the ball, goes behind to Logan, and there's
Clackety
space
now.
there. Why Clackety just palms away, and he's picked up and he's driven by that man Keogh out there.
Yes.
What a hit. Here's Brooke. Brooke now goes forward and suffering nothing from that head knock before. Davidson picks and drives. He'll do that every single time, and Chapman follows suit. Here's Christensen. Christensen met in a very hard tackle by Ben Ham. McCormick now calling for the ball. Turns Manu on the inside. Manu spins around but can't evade the tackler. First time in the game, really hasn't beaten the first tackle. Here comes Logan now. Logan to Clackety. Clackety can't go for the corner. Pops it over. Oh, he's dropped it. Birrell.
Yeah,
the thought was there, the execution wasn't.
Yeah, well, a fantastic defence by the two Blues side there. Wanderers with space out to Clackety. Going into touch through it back inside, but unfortunately a knock on from the Blacks, so Wanderers come up with a loose and feed, 5 out from their own line. But the Blacks are definitely back in this game, shocked by those 2 tries against the run of the play, but they've got a sniff now. Couldn't come up with points there.
Yeah, they've got the man advantage here in what will be a scrum, so they'll really pressure this two Blues outfit and look to...
Well, you'd definitely be putting the winger in this one, Gareth, wouldn't you? 5 out from your own line.
Well, there's a few trainers out there, and...
Yeah, I'd be putting 8 men in the scrum because the Blacks will be looking to win one against the feed.
Especially on their own line, looking to at least draw the penalty out.
Apply some pressure. But, got a little bit of a hold up in play here. Can't see anybody down. Oh, yeah, Blair Rush. Blair Rush.
He's the man that getting a bit of attention and probably getting a bit of a breather, to be fair. That's been played pretty quickly, and the wind certainly knocking up the bigger men out there.
He very well may have been giving himself a breather, knowing that Scrum's coming with a man down against this monstrous Maitland pack.
Yeah, Punchy Sager out there giving the magic water as well for the Maitland side.
Yeah, well, we talk about the best, and Punchy is the best in the business as far as sports trainers go. Don't forget to support his business up at Maitland.
That's right. As the Wanderers now looking... Oh, this is a good scrum by the Maitland pack, and look at the legs pumping. Somehow Ben Ham picked that up from the back. And that's a penalty to the two Blues. Too eager there. Offside, wheeling the scrum, says Logan. I feel they're kind of penalised there for just being too good at the scrum there. The wheel kind of had to happen because it was unbalanced with the man down.
Yeah, there's cries of injustice from the Maitland crowd there. They were all over it. Ben Ham's done an exceptional job to come up with the football. He reached into the second row to get it. Simmons.
I think I heard the Maitland women at the Imperial there just screaming.
They've got their voices. They're listening in, allegedly, apparently. So anyway, with the Wanderers now rush to the throw, 18 metres out from their own line, still under enormous pressure.
Tapped off the top, Sinclair George to Ben Ham. Ben Ham tucks it under and tries to find a bit of a gap there. Not his hardest of runs, but he did the job as Reed now takes them forward. Hard to put down, low centre of gravity. Waller comes around this time. Everyone lifting, and Sinclair George pops the pass. Didn't need to be popped.
It's all about ball control. Logan's let that one go.
Oh, that's over the top. That is a horrific ball there. Stafford almost claims the try. They've got to get it to the left quickly, but Logan has blown the whistle. Knock on Maitland. Maitland.
Called a knock on against the Blacks. So couldn't really see that one clearly, but they were very lucky to get away with that sloppy pass out the back to Simmons.
Yeah, Simmons was in all sorts, wasn't he?
Wow, he was licorice.
Sinclair George took the ball in, as we see on the Bandlaw replay. So it was a makeshift halfback.
And they've got away with another one, but still under enormous pressure, and I'm sure the Blacks will apply a lot of pressure in this ensuing scrum. Counting numbers here, they're going with 8, Gareth. Ben Ham is just yelling. He's laying down the law out there to his forward pack.
He is not only the leader by name, but the spiritual leader of this Two Blues pack.
Sinclair George to feed this scrum.
Yeah, Stafford was the guy. So Maitland had the scrum feed.
Maitland had the scrum feed?
And they push forward here. This could be a try. Held at the back nicely. Stafford reaches for it. He's held up. Should have kept the ball in there, Jared.
Wow, I thought he called knock on against the Blacks at the time.
Yeah, I thought he did at the start too.
There you go. The first time we were both wrong.
Held up, says Logan now.
So back to a scrum. Nice assist from the Maitland Blacks of lubrication here at the number 2 sports ground this afternoon.
Champagne for my real friends and pain for my sham friends, Jared.
Not are they only providing lubrication, they're providing entertainment this afternoon. A bit of a laugh for the commentators. Good on you to the Maitland boys. And I hope all you girls at the Imperial Hotel are behaving yourself this afternoon.
So here comes the Maitland scrum. This time, take 2. Can they drive this pack backwards? No, they go out again. McCormick to Manu. Manu in behind to Bradford. Clackety again. They come across and he's driven out. That is great defence by this Wanderers side.
Fantastic defence from Simmons. Chase Hicks there took him over the sideline.
Yeah, it's pretty one-dimensional, the attack on the line from the Maitland side. They've got the sweeper coming out the back. I'd like to see maybe turn inside maybe. Yeah,
well, they'll keep going down the same road and coming up empty, so they'll have to change some plans. Might be a call from the coach from the sideline there with Wanderers to throw in.
Oh, that's one by Stafford. He's hit very hard though. Now they'll pick and drive again. This is their best option close to the line, I feel, at the moment. Nothing really working from the Wanderers' defence, holding strong as they go again.
Yeah, ball in hand, keep it in tight in these conditions.
Yeah, Christensen this time takes on his former teammates close to the line.
Fantastic.
McCormick calling for it. McCormick to Manu. Manu drifts across field. Ball to Logan and Ashworth reads it off the top. Bradford steps away from a couple, but the Wanderers, they come over the top and they're going to draw the penalty, are they? No, it's play on its advantage as Chase Hicks gets them over the 22.
Yeah, well, they had
player down out there. Is it Howell, maybe?
They had room to the right there, the Maitland side, but just couldn't get it to the man.
And this doesn't look good out there for Howell. I think it is in the 4 jersey with the headgear. Hasn't moved, and Punchy Sager straight down to him and supporting that head. So
yeah, well, it doesn't look good, and it does look like Howell. I can't see him on his
I think it is
feet.
Howell.
I'm not quite sure what happened, but he looks in a lot of trouble out there.
There was something in the breakdown, and we might have a listen to this.
I saw it. It was accidental. I'll keep an eye on it.
But you couldn't have a better man on the job.
Accidental, says Logan.
Right, well, that's the call from the referee, but as I say, you couldn't have a better man on the job than Punchy looking after him, and as always, we hope he will be fine, but it looks a little serious at this point in time.
Yeah, certainly some concern out there as the both sides get into their huddles. 15-7 the score, with Maitland continually threatening this line. There wouldn't be too much to go in the half.
No, certainly the dying stages now, this first half, which in the conditions taking into the conditions, has been a very entertaining first half here in the major semi-final at number 2. But quite a lot of concern for the Big Howl out here. Well, and there's a good sign, ladies and gentlemen at home. There's a good sign. They've actually got him up into the sitting position.
Yeah, he's up and about, so maybe it's more of a shoulder concern around that neck area. More so the shoulder than neck. Trapezoids, is it? Maybe a trapezoidal muscle tear.
Well, a bit like a hamstring. I've never done one, but...
never had one.
He's back to his feet. I've had a couple. He's back to his feet, the big fella, and
he's going to continue to play as well. So it wouldn't be a concussion because he would have had to come from the field. So it looks like maybe a shoulder,
maybe a bit of a stinger there that's shortened him up for a moment or two. But Punchy's giving him a bit of a rub with the magic sponge, and he'll carry on. So Maitland now still deep in the...
he's not really dressed like a trainer, is he, Punchy Sager, today? He's got the jeans and the RMs on and the yellow shirt.
He might be going dancing and dancing a little bit later on with the ladies at the Imperial.
It's gone to his head. It's gone to his head.
No, I would never go to Punchy's head. No, he's one of the best in the competition. So the game goes on. Wanderers get the feed now, about 10 out from their own line.
Yes, and Maitland looking to drive on. Dan Keppel's still off the field. And that's a penalty for wheeling the scrum. And with, I said it before, with the man down advantage, Maitland pushing through, it's tough. A bit of back chat there. We'll take a listen.
A bit of yap. Logan's marched them 10.
Sinclair George having a bit of chat to the retreating line, as all good halfbacks do.
Well, they're all full of chat, but Simmons there with a good touch finder.
Of course, we've got the AFL Grand Final across from us today.
Yeah, but
here comes Dan Keppel back on the field. So, squared up, not long to go in the half. We'll probably have a bit of injury time due to that.
Yeah, definitely done well with Keppel off the field there. The Wanderers have been exceptional in defence, and they've got into Maitland territory for the first time in about 15 minutes, I'd say.
Well, that's a floating pass. Ben Ham picks it up. He was lucky the defensive line wasn't a little bit quicker because it would have been around the ribs. As Sherwood to Simmons, Simmons to Hicks. Hicks, good palm off for Logan. Flick passes inside, and Marsh, who hasn't seen any ball at all today.
I think that's...
And he wouldn't want to see that one again either.
Play on now through the Maitland Blacks. Yeah, Marsh hasn't touched the ball all afternoon as Brooks takes it forward.
Defensively, he's been sound though. He's had a couple come up his way, and here comes Marcus Christensen out the back to McCormick, to Logan. Logan, poor pass again behind to Chris Martin that time. And
yeah, bad decision, chance in their own arm, Maitland in their own half, and come up with the mistake. So the Wanderers with a chance for late points, and I think they might need them, Gareth.
Yeah, Sherwood came over there, then looked to consolidate that ball. And there's an injury. Is it to Logan out there? No, it's Chris Martin.
Well, at 15-7 with minutes to go in this first half, I don't think that's enough for the Wanderers side.
They would have probably wanted another try with this breeze in the back. They haven't had any ball, and Maitland by right should be leading at the moment.
Well, if there was no wind and a balmy Saturday afternoon here at number 2, I'd say Maitland would be ahead. But as we spoke about, the Wanderers come up with a few tries against the run of play, but Maitland certainly have been the better with the ball in hand and better field position. But the Wanderers now with a late chance for points.
So scrums evenly matched now. We'll see how Wanderers can fight back. The Maitland side getting over the top of them with Keppel off the field.
Solid scrum there by the Wanderers side.
So here comes Sherwood. Sherwood in behind Keogh. Ashworth driven back by Manu. Sinclair George, he's under pressure too. He loses the ball, and Maitland have one more shot to get points on the board before the half ends. In behind is the kick from Bradford, up for Clackety. No, Marsh comes up with it. So really gave the ball away there, Maitland.
Yeah.
Should have held on to it.
Poor decision for mine. He should have kept ball in hand, give Clackety had some space.
Here comes Reed. He's been powerful in his running here today. At the back, Blair Rush over the advantage line. Davidson reaching for the ball. Here comes Cavill. Oh, he's had a look. He's had a big look.
Well, the way he plays the game, he expects when he's got the ball coming to him, everybody's going to have his number.
Yeah, well,
but it's unlike him to have a look. But he had a really big look then. Coughed his lollies, dropped his lollies, and Black's now late chance for more points. Brooke receiving some attention.
Yeah, what's he? Got something, maybe the contact lenses?
Contact lenses, we're told, for the Maitland crowd. Good info here.
The harbinger of High Street.
The harbinger of High Street. Busy on and off the park, hung like a rogue field mouse, allegedly.
Is that what they're saying up at Maitland? We're getting some nods by the Maitland supporters here.
That's just what the boys tell me in the sheds. Hung like a rogue field mouse. He is how he does it, what he does, but anyway.
Jesus.
Anyway, he's back to his feet. He's got his eyes back in.
He's put the blue contacts in. He's put the tiger contacts in. He's got tiger eyes now. So not long to go in the half. Stafford with the ball to feed, and McCormick wide to the right. Has Manu off his shoulder, and Clackety looking to join in this Maitland Blacks back line.
Yeah, the two Blues under all sorts of pressure here late in the first stanza.
Good scrum by the Wanderers to come back, and this time Maitland get the penalty.
Stafford takes a quick one.
Goes again.
He's isolated. He's all on his own here.
He does well to hold up the ball, and the support comes, and Runchell goes in front of him to Christensen. Runchell now cleaning out as they pick and drive the Blacks. They go again through Davidson.
Davidson on the charge.
That's a very good run, isn't it? Well, we speak about Ben Ham being the spiritual leader. Nick Davidson certainly of the same ilk for the Maitland side as Manu looking to ignite something. Stafford with a short ball to Brooke. Brooke tries to bump off Walla. Walla stands firm and he's cleaned out. Oh, good exchange of passes by Chapman, the big prop forward.
Good hands.
Now
Chapman.
Howell goes forward. He's isolated this time. He manages to hold up the calls for let it go by Logan. Here comes Manu looking to use his quick feet, and the Wanderers, they've been solid off their own line. Stafford opens the gate, shuts the gate, gets it to McCormick.
Solid in defence, the two Blues here. Maitland putting him under all sorts of pressure.
Yeah, 5 metres out now, the Blacks. And if they can just keep picking and drive McCormick, he goes wide. Chapman this time is taken down. Patience being built. Here comes Dan Runchell. He's driven back. He's isolated, but Manu gets there in help. And they're still driving away. Good counter-rucking there by the two Blues. Have they turned it over? That is some sort of effort off their own line. Here comes Kevill, shaped to kick. Flick pass off his own line. Marsh straightens up. Can it be a third try from inside the 22?
Great work by the two Blues there to come up with possession. Got out of jail. Maitland were applying all sorts of pressure. Out to Keogh now.
That's great semi-final defence by the two Blues.
Yeah, well, and that's what wins the big games is the defence, and they were exceptional.
Simmons now with a long ball out wide. Here they come now. Chase Hicks has the fullback to beat. Can he evade him? He tries to get around, palms him off. Now he's waiting for support.
Yeah,
they need to use this ball here, the Wanderers. Oh, Cavill, second drop of the game, kicks the ball away in disgust.
Not happy.
And that'll be half time.
Not happy, the Devil. Yeah, poor end of the first half. But
15 points to 7.
15-7 at half time. We'll see you in the second stanza, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we'll have a quick break now. The game brought to you, of course, by Rams, the Titan Group, Banlaw, and the Street Property Scoreboard reading 15 points to 7. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break, come back with all the second half action. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Rams NHRU semi-final series here on Bar TV Sports, brought to you by the Titan Group. And the Street Property scoreboard reads 15 points to 7 in favour of the Wanderers. But it's been a lot closer than the scoreboard reads. Maitland with plenty of opportunities out there in that first half. They peppered the Wanderers' try line, but the Wanderers kept coming up with some great defensive plays. And they have held strong. This is Maitland's side. Will be receiving the kick, running towards the junction end, and the two Blues running towards the Market Town end. So the breeze swirling around out there. It is at the back of the Maitland side this time. Can they use it to their advantage? As the Wanderers did two really streaky tries from inside their own 22. Really probably don't deserve to be this far in front as we start the second half. Jared Ryan, what was the talk in the dressing sheds?
Well, the talk was full of confidence from the Blacks. Breeze that they're back in their second half. As we mentioned, Wanderers never took full advantage, got a couple of tries against the run of play.
Well, it comes back this time, and we're trying to use this win, and Marsh firmly on the chest, does well to get to it, and Simmons now looking to change the direction of the attack back towards his forward pack. Here comes Reid. Reid drives forward. Good run again by Reid. He's had a good game, hasn't he?
Strong run, Kevill now.
Yeah, Kevill dropping the ball again. So third drop, really struggling with the hands out there at the moment. Kevill as Ben Ham. Rugged run there by the captain. Batalina stops and he's picked up, and the leg twisted by McCormick. Ben Ham goes again, and it's ripped out by the Maitland player in Manu.
Turned it over.
Yeah, good run by Stafford, who's having a very good game at the back of the scrum for the Blacks. Probably the best out there for the Blacks in that first half.
Yeah, he was outstanding.
Along with this man, Davidson.
Stands with Davidson, takes it forward, makes a metre or two as Maitland applied the pressure early in this second half.
So Manu comes across now and gets it to Logan. Logan uses the width to Bradford. Bradford straightens the attack, and good young talent is Bradford as he goes over into touch.
Good defence there from the two Blues. They needed plenty of it in the first half, and they'll need more of it in this second half this afternoon, Gareth. Maitland will put all sorts of pressure on them, wind at their backs, and they know they had the better of the first half, I think. So full of confidence, the Blacks, as the two Blues get the line-out win.
Oh, good run by Kevill this time, tucking it under the wing and going forward. That's what they need from him. They need more of that as Keogh now, he tries to do the same. Tough to put down, and he's held up in the tackle. Good strong effort by the Maitland Blacks. In behind now to Simmons. Simmons gets Hicks. Hicks is away. Hicks gets the arm out, looking for Mano inside. Ashworth has Sinclair George on the inside. Can he go all the way? Yes, he can. Wow. Good try down the left edge.
Outstanding ball movement. Chase Hicks. He had a little bit of room to work in, but he's done outstanding with an inside ball. And Sinclair George backing up on the inside, goes over for the Wanderers side.
Very, very good halfbacks try, wasn't it? Kept in that channel, ran straight up the field. Chase Hicks, as we see on the Bandwell replay, did all the work, almost looked to stand up Carl Manu, and saw the support of Ashworth on the inside and linked up to Sinclair George. Very good try.
Good work by Ashworth too, backing up his centre. He's come infield, got the inside ball, and Sinclair George having a great afternoon. Both halfbacks having a great game, but Wanderers early points in this second half. And Simmons, what are we doing here, Gareth? Are we backing him in?
I say this is his easiest of the day, and it's going to go over.
That's hardly a news flash. It's definitely his easiest kick of the day.
It's his good side as well.
And it is his good side. If anybody knows his good side, it would be my co-commentator Gareth. Yeah. So as he lines it up now, moves in.
He hits it nicely. Oh, nice. That's almost
plenty of work on it.
had the fade on it.
Plenty of work on it, and he's got it over. So
22 points to 7 is the score on the Street Property scoreboard.
You're always going to be a good mathematician.
Stats man. Wow. And here comes Bradford for the restart.
Numbers man. So Maitland to kick off. A little bit of shock here. The Blacks crowd have gone quiet. Goes up the middle of the park.
Finds some open space. So Sinclair George, the try scorer, gets them up to the 22 or thereabouts. Now they're looking to get a good exit out of this. They pick and drive through Morrell. Good stuff by the two Blues, and it's good defence here by the Blacks, looking to put some pressure back on this Wanderers attack as Keogh, he drives forward. Sherwood inside ball to Batalina. Batalina finds himself in some unfamiliar open space there. He doesn't see the open grass too much.
Yeah, keeping it in tight here, the Wanderers side.
Yeah, this is a very good exit off their own line as Reid takes another couple forward too. Very impressive today. Batalina. Offside's the call. Yes, advantage being played.
And Logan's picked it up, and he didn't need any assistance from the crowd, but they were giving him plenty. Fantastic play by the two Blues, getting out of their own territory.
We'll take a quick listen. Yellow card to Stafford.
And that's going to hurt the Blacks. That is definitely going to hurt the Blacks. He's been the best on the park for them in the first half.
Yeah, just getting too eager, trying to start something for his side, but professional fouls the call, and Stafford.
Well, early points in this second half for the two Blues, and now Stafford gets 10 in the bin, gives them the upper hand, the Wanderers side.
Their former Singleton junior now calls Maitland home. Was living in Newcastle, I believe. Wasn't going to play this year, and
we didn't play the first half of the competition, but they've coerced him back,
lured him back,
coerced him back into playing, which is. He's definitely been their best player, but in the game so far.
I think he's pretty much close to being the best halfback in the competition.
Big call, but we're not afraid to make him here on Bar TV.
That's right, especially on the Titan Group match of the round, and this is the Rams semi-final series, and it's proved to be an exciting opener. Glad we had to wait a week.
Well, I don't know about that. I haven't told you this, but I can't make the grand final, Gareth. Things have been putting back. I'm going.
We had our end of season trip planned.
Booked to Bali. As Dan Runchell
comes from the field. Willie So comes on.
Will he stay or will he so now? He's into the game. Wearing the number 1. Late call by the Maitland coach. Replaced.
He was always going to start on the bench. It's the only jersey that fits him.
Is that right?
That is correct.
Anyway, Wanderers through Morrell, I believe, off the top.
Yeah, Kevel running wide, and again he's met with some solid defence. He's been...
Yeah, came off the foot there, but they've retained possession. Yeah, Logan lets play go on.
Ben Hams somehow gets that one back, and now they drive forward again, the two Blues. Very patient play here as Kevel almost getting in front of Sherwood. There is Keogh. Another good run by the 12.
Yeah, great battle out there between the old fella and the young.
Willie So came off the line. Thought he might have been offside there. Advantage being played. So I think that it will be the call as Ben Ham now finds a bit of space off the back of the breakdown.
Yeah, well, Maitland come out in this second half a million miles an hour, but the two Blues matching them so far.
Sherwood. Bit of treatment around the neck there by Davidson on the ground. Chase Hicks goes without it, and that's a penalty brought back for a very good advantage played there by Logan, I thought.
Yeah, good refereeing. That's why he's the number 1 in the competition. Blacks crowd not agreeing with us, but no, definitely the right call there by the ref. Logan all over it. Simmons to take the touch finder.
So Simmons, both these sides, whoever is the victor will get another chance next week. Yeah, well, the loser gets another chance, and
the winner will take on
the Hamilton Hawks. That's a poor line out there, and somehow Ben Ham wins the foot race against Willie So. I dare say he'd probably do that every day of the week.
Yeah, well, the everyman man.
Morrell breaks through, has the fullback to beat. Can he go all the way? Yes, he can. The big arm came out. I thought he scored.
Logan's call him short. Rush has the ball now.
Had a man outside him.
Space there for Simmons, but couldn't get it to him. Wanderers retain possession, and Logan has found an indiscretion by the look of it.
Sherwood looking for the quick tap, but it's going to be called back. Yellow card, another one. This time it's Marcus Christensen. So the Blacks down to 13 men.
And under all sorts of pressure here at number 2 this afternoon. We thought the Blacks, with the win at their back, they would come out firing in their second half, down reduced to 13 men.
So Dalibozic's on the field for the two Blues as well, in the 23 jersey. Of course, the Dalabozic name, synonymous with Singleton and indeed Maitland as well. Oh, driven over the line. This is going to be close. As they come off the back here, the two Blues. Morrell was very unlucky not to score, and he almost went in then again. As they pick and drive. Oh, that was very close as well. He came from nowhere.
Great defence by Chapman there for the Blacks.
So Sherwood, he's screaming for the ball. Tim Marsh comes to the left wing. He's calling for the ball too. Everybody wants a piece of it here.
Under all sorts of pressure here, the Blacks. Logan's pulled them back, playing advantage. He's given the scrum to Maitland, to Wanderers.
Blues, so indiscretion at the breakdown by the Blacks.
Well, this has been a big turnaround in the opening second half. Over 10 minutes, Blacks reduced to 13. Wanderers applying all sorts of pressure. They'll be looking for points here. Very unlucky through Morrell. I thought he was over.
Yeah, I thought he planted the ball on the line, but
if I was
we weren't there. The referees were a step behind.
If I was refereeing, I'd have my hand in the air, Gareth. But he's also done well reaching out. He's done well to retain the balls and allowed the Wanderers to keep the pressure on the Blacks, who are in a bit of a shell-shocked state at the moment.
And of course we have another little tweet in while we have a break in play. Kerry Shepherd, the Uberoo driver from Nelson Bay. Life's good. Saturday spent watching rugby, listening to the voracious voice box of Gareth Wozzick and the tantalising tonsils of Jared Ryan. So thanks very much, Kerry, for your support out there. If you do want to tweet us in or the like, head to Bar TV Sports. The comments on the Facebook page, we will try to get to them.
Yeah, get involved, get on board. You're watching the game at home, doesn't matter where you are, you can always comment, we'll give you a shout out. But the Shoal Bay's number 1 Uberoo getting a mention there. So they scrummed it back now. Sinclair George.
Where do you think they go here? Straight to Keogh? The big number 12, the damaging number 12. He was cut down by Manu in a similar position in the first half. Can he get one better this time?
I don't think they've got the ball to him enough so far in this game, so that's where I'd be heading.
22-7 the score. They go to Keogh. Keogh drifts across field this time. Simmons.
Swarming.
They need a quick ball here.
Swarming Maitland defence.
Has Dalabozic on the outside and goes to Kevill. Kevill goes wide to Marsh. Marsh. Can he go to the corner? No, he can't. Good defence by Maitland.
They're held up there.
They're down 2 players.
They're down 2 players behind on the scoreboard and under all sorts of pressure. Out to Blair Rush now.
Here he goes. Chase Hicks. Chase Hicks almost getting through. Oh, that's going to be close to a penalty. Reid behind the back to Keogh. What skills by the prop forward. And Wanderers are on the start of some sort of demolition here.
Have you seen anything like that? A front row with a reverse flick pass? Well, and my co-commentator pointing to himself as if he's done it in his past. He may have been horizontal when he's done it, dreaming about it, but that was sensational play by the big front rower from the two Blues, and they're over again. So
again, the score now 27 points to 7, and Wanderers firmly in control.
Yeah, well, it's been a turnaround from what I was expecting.
The Maitland side certainly in that first half looked like the better of the two. They were behind on the scoreboard, but they finished strongly, and the two Blues have come out, 2 quick tries, and it's going to be tough to come back from here.
Yeah, even with the wild westerly at their back, the Maitland side find themselves down by 2 players, which is their biggest issue at the moment, as Simmons lines his kick up. But no, the two Blues come out firing in this second half, and they put a couple of tries on. Backing him in, Gareth. Good side. He's good side.
Backing him in here.
All right.
He'll hold up in the wind.
I'm backing him out. He's going to miss this one.
He'll get the fade on it.
No, he's going to miss this one.
He'll get the fade on it as it comes around. Oh, he's hit the post.
I'm 2 schooners in front all of a sudden.
1 schooner in front. You're 6 in front of me today by the looks of it.
27.
That's just off your own bat.
Straight bat. 27 to 15. 7.
Yep.
27 to 7.
27 to 7 is the score.
Resuming play now through the Blacks.
Yeah, Bradford kicks it, and Van Ham comes up with it, and that's a poor kick-off really by the Bucks. They probably wanted to get it deep as Keogh, the try scorer, winds up again.
And they'll be looking for more points now. A bit of ball movement might come into the Wanderers' side.
Well, here's the man that laid on that try, Reid. He tucks it under his arm this time. And
for me, Keogh slow to get up in the back play.
If we were going to name a man of the match now, it would probably be Reid, I reckon. But that's a penalty now to the Blacks. We'll have a quick listen.
Yeah, relieving penalty to the Blacks there. 2 men short as Willie So comes back to the sideline. But they've been exceptional in this opening 15 minutes of the second half, the two Blues. And
that's a good kick, getting them into the 22. So first opportunity to fight back here. 27 points to 7.
Well, field position the whole game, Gareth, is going against the blistering breeze we have blowing here this afternoon.
They look to go to the front there to Brook, and they come down with him. Brook charges for the line. He's 7 metres from the line. As they come out, they pick, they drive. Manu calling for it. They go again with good defence there by the two Blues again off their own line. Here comes Manu. Manu ducks his head. He's met by Blair Rush, the bigger man, and he's absolutely monstered.
Yeah, great defence by the two Blues as Brook takes it off the back, goes right, makes a metre or 2.
Oh, good run by Travis Brook. He's 5 metres out as they take it from the back.
We'll let him stay on side.
Davidson flicks it off the top.
Yeah, Logan's let that one go. Maitland lucky to get away with that.
Yeah, they're close now, the Blacks. But the Wanderers dig deep off their own line. This is a great show of strength and defence by the two Blues all game. Now they go wide. McCormick has a bit of space, but no, they've read that one well as well. Manu faded away to the left on the overs line, and that's a penalty to Maitland.
Logan's got him for another one there. We're not quite sure what it is. We couldn't sort that refcom out at half time. Maitland take the quick tap
the
now.
Quick tap
Davidson charging forward.
Was the option with the couple of players down. Now Manu, he looks to go over, but he's driven sideways. McCormick now. Oh, it's picked off again by Simmons. Simmons to Marsh. Marsh, can he go all the way? Martin's chasing him down, but Marsh is going to go for the corner for a try.
Fantastic decision by Luke Simmons, who he showed outstanding toe earlier in the game, but he made a smart decision to pop it off to Marsh.
Well, he's the quickest man in the comp.
He was the quickest man in the comp, without a doubt. And the Wanderers turn pressure into points. Maitland applying all sorts of pressure on their line. Turnover ball out to Marsh. Fantastic work.
Great work as well. Special mention to Chris Martin. Don't know if he was ever going to chase him down, but
he he gave it his best, but Marsh, untouchable.
He made the kick harder anyway, and Simmons is probably going to go 1 from 6.
So what, you're backing him out now?
I'm backing him out.
Oh, you're behind, you're backing him out. And it is on his bad side.
It is bad side.
But the lightning winger from the Two Blues got the ball 60 out. And
He hasn't seen the ball too much.
I don't think he's touched it yet, has he? Twice? Righto. All right, he's touched it once before, including that. That's
course.
twice, right. So, okay. So, but yeah, very valuable points for the Two Blues. The Maitland side in a bit of a shock.
Disarray. I'd say disarray.
I'd say
they left the game at the Imperial with the ladies.
Well,
today. Well, they certainly haven't been the Maitland side we probably expected to turn up today. And
I'd say the ladies at the Imperial are going better than the boys at the number 2 this afternoon. But can I just ask you again, who did you back this afternoon? Who did you say was going to win earlier?
I'll say Maitland.
Maitland.
I thought Maitland was going to win.
There you go. Well, so is that, how many schooners did we have on that, Gareth?
I don't know if we had any, but that's a good... I thought he kicked that then too. It was not my day today. But in any case, it's going to be a restart for the Blacks as the score is now 32 points to 7 on the Street Property scoreboard here at number 2 Sports Ground. And they've absolutely blown away this Maitland Black side in the second half. 3 tries scored from inside the 20-metre zone. So that just goes to say how good the defence of the Wanderers is working off their own line. And now they're popping passes as it comes around the corner from Kevill.
Yeah, great ball there from Dan Kevill, but yeah, they've blown Maitland off the park, but Logan...
Yeah, not releasing, or diving over.
They've blown them off the park early in this second half. Blacks in, as you say, disarray. Bradford now taking the touch finder.
Well, it's a win. The Wanderers will take great confidence in meeting the Hawks next week.
Yellow card return, Joe.
Well, they needed after we were at Passmore 2 weeks ago, and the Hawks taught them a bit of a lesson in the second half.
But is it demoralising for the Blacks getting beaten in a semi-final by such a margin with plenty to go as well? So,
you know, a few against the run of play, but the Two Blues defence has been outstanding, keeping the Black side out.
Yeah, not straight there, so just nothing working at the moment for the Black side.
Yeah, nothing going their way, and still a man down waiting for... Oh, no, Christensen's back out there as well.
Yeah, just come on the field.
We're back up to 15 against 15. The Two Blues have made every post a winner, while the Blacks had 2 players sin-binned and commanding lead now.
So there'll be a Wanderers feed. Stafford, the man with the ball. Picked off the back by Ben Ham, and Ben Ham, again, great game by the captain. Chase Hicks, good palm by Hicks, goes again, loses the ball. Manu now kicks ahead for himself, and the ball goes into touch, but we call back for the knock on. What about the fend from Chase Hicks?
Close fist there on the second one. I'd say that Logan missed that one, but good play by Hicks. Manu with half a chance, kicks it into the in goal, but goes dead. So we've got another player down here now. Logan's down. Bit of a break in play here, and Punchy attending to him, but yeah, the Wanderers blown Maitland off the park here in this second half. Wind still blowing hard, getting
looks
colder.
Like it's going harder and colder.
It's glad I bought the big jacket this afternoon. It's getting quite cool here this afternoon. There's plenty of heat on the paddock though. Wanderers blown them off the park, but the competition's still intense here this afternoon at number 2.
Yeah, we've got a player coming into the field. Robards. in the 16 jersey, and there's a bit of movement out there, so I think it's Dan. No, it's not Dan Runshaw. Oh, it's Logan.
Yeah,
He's the one that got the palm and a bit of whiplash, maybe.
He got the closed fist. Looks like he's coming from the field, a bit dazed, but he's up and about.
So Robards looks like a prop forward, but plays like a centre. He's damaging runner.
We've seen him before, ladies and gentlemen. He's got some silky skills.
He has
for a
got
big
some
fella.
good skills, hasn't he?
Very silky skills. Last time I saw that was I can't say. I was going to say you, but no, I can't do it. I can't. You know, I'm not here to rap him, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, the Blacks of the feed, Stafford with the put in.
Yeah, Stafford with the ball.
And they need some points urgently in this second half here at number 2.
And McCormick probably needs to stand.
Wanderers with an outstanding scrummaging effort there. And they're high-fiving, they're back-slapping.
If you're the Blacks, you're hanging your head in shame, aren't you?
And Logan.
That is not something you want to see.
Nah, they got smacked. They got smacked in that scrum.
They'll have to come back from that, because if this continues to happen, as Manu has a chat.
No, Manu questioning Logan on the decision, but the two Blues just blew him off the park there in that scrum.
Well, we saw that in the first half where the Black scrum was doing the same thing, and somehow Logan's...
Oh, he hasn't put it out.
Well, that's a let off there, and maybe...
Davidson comes up with it. He's on the charge, the Warrior. Cleans one up.
Good run by Davidson. And the crowd going wild, but that could be a little bit of karma, they might say, due to the penalty there at the scrum, as things settle down a bit out there on the field and in the grandstand as well.
They've got very excited in the grandstand there, but...
Here comes Chapman again. McCormick looking for runners, finds Christensen. Christensen up the field. As now Travis Brook. He takes it forward. Stafford. McCormick looks for Manu on the inside. Manu finds Robards. Lovely ball. And now Bradford. Bradford goes for the try line, accelerates, and Maitland are back in this.
Well, I don't know about back in it, but they're over, and we spoke about the big fella's silky skills, and he showed them there, and a fantastic ball by the old stager Manu puts Bradford over under the post. Kick to come.
32-14, and maybe I was a little bit excited there.
Well, I think you were excited without a doubt.
Certainly a very good try. What about the skills from Manu? Where's it been all day?
Well, what about the big fella? The replacement. Robards. He was robust. Robards, and got a beautiful ball away. Manu followed it up with an exceptional ball and puts Bradford over straight under the posts with a kick to come.
Yeah, so this will make it 32-14. We've still got plenty to play, plenty of time.
All right, so I'm
68 minutes down.
I'm going to give you a chance here. I'm 2 schooners in front of you. Backing him in, Gareth?
I'm backing him in.
You're backing him in. And over it goes. So, 32-16 now.
68 minutes down, and there's probably, I would say, about 5 minutes of injury time.
5 minutes?
I would say.
Well, we have had a few stoppages in the second half, yep. So, the Blacks on the board, and the Wanderers, the two Blues, a little slow to get back to halfway.
Well, the run by Davidson, I think, is the trigger for that. Maitland certainly lifted after that.
Without a doubt, the Warrior on the charge.
Viking Warrior.
Bruising run by Davidson to set that play up.
The only Viking that's never seen the sea. As we go back now to the action, Simmons goes forward.
And speak of the man,
here he is.
Come up with the ball off the kickoff.
He's pillaged that one. Now it comes wide.
Maitland now moving to the right.
Yeah, McCormick to Manu. Manu one-on-one. Steps back on the inside. Thought he could have tried to get it to Manu there. Oh,
Chase Hicks has pilfered it.
Chase Hicks.
Great ball inside. Out to Sinclair George. Ben Ham on the charge.
Yeah, Ben Ham on the charge, as you said. And now the two Blues with the ball. He's had the better of the two centres out there today. Chase Hicks, as Batalina gets on the edge and gets on the outside. He's seen himself in some open space a couple of times today as Blair Rush takes this one forward.
Good meters by the big international forward for the two Blues.
So now Ben Ham looks to pass dummies, takes on Manu, pops it up to Sherwood. Sherwood somehow grabs it around his ankles.
Yeah, fantastic take there by Sherwood.
Sinclair George to Ben Ham. Ben Ham with another run inside the 22 now. As Reed goes forward. Good run again by Reed. And the two Blues looking to control this and put the Blacks away here as Blair Rush, high body position, but gets through the advantage line.
Yeah, both the two Blues front rows have been outstanding this afternoon as Sherwood snipes away.
And it's a penalty there. And
Logan.
You'll think maybe they'll try and soak up some time and take the kick.
For a high shot.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, dubious call, but yeah, definitely taking the 3 points here for mine, Gareth.
Well, yeah.
It's on his good side, just. Bit of cramping going on with one of the Maitland players out there, struggling to get back to his feet.
It's Manu out there.
Well, Luke Simmons.
Plenty of work to do for the big man out there, isn't it?
Well, so I was just speaking about it a moment ago. The two Blues front rows, they've been outstanding. Dave Waller as well. The whole front row, the whole forward pack for the Wanderers, their defence has been enormous this afternoon. And unfortunately for the Blacks and their supporters, they look like they're going back to Maitland with their tails between their legs. But I'm sure they'll be met by some smiles from the ladies who will have had a fabulous afternoon.
The heels will be off and the taxis will be called. I don't know if Uber's up in Maitland, but
he'd be having a busy night if he was.
Yeah, he'd be having a good time up there. The Uber driver I'm talking about, of course, UberX.
Simmons lines the penalty up now. Moving in.
Oh, he's hit that. He loves the fade, doesn't he?
He loves the fade. I'd like to see him swing a golf club. Actually, he'd go all right in the golf course. By the look of him,
he would. He'd go better than us do. As it comes back to halfway again, a familiar run back to halfway by the Blacks.
So more points to the two Blues here now. Takes it out to 35 to 16.
35 to 14. That's okay.
16, wasn't it? He kicked the conversion, did he not? You backed him in. 35
to 14.
All right. Well, there you go. I've been corrected. As the two Blues retain the ball off the kick-off. And the Blacks, they need some points. They need the ball and they need some points.
So Ben Ham takes them forward again. Here's Sherwood. Sherwood drifts across to Waller. Waller with a backpedaling palm on McCormick, and now Sherwood comes in. Reed goes forward. Sinclair George taking the ground, so they'll pick and drive. That time through Schmidt. He's had a good game at the breakdown, doing all the tight work for the two Blues. Pop ball up. Is that Jack Johnson home on the field, maybe? In the 20 jersey, Simmons drifts across and goes wide and finds Marsh. Marsh had a couple in front of him as it goes over the top to Schmidt, and Schmidt takes them forward. Here's Blair Rush.
Yeah, good charge by the big man. We've got Maitland down by man. We've got Marcus Christensen.
Almost. Chris Martin almost take it. Deliberate knockdown, I think Logan's going to call. We'll have a listen here.
He's going for the cheese.
So Marcus Christensen down as well. And a yellow card, I don't know about that. What about you?
Harsh call.
They haven't had many good calls here today, the Blacks.
They've had a tough afternoon, the Maitland side here at number 2. But as you mentioned, Gareth, Marcus Christensen down in the background. A bit of an issue. Might be going off to the blood bin with a busted nose. But that's a tough call against Chris Martin, the winger for the Blacks.
Yeah, it is a tough call. And
once
found themselves down a couple of times here today, and certainly the two Blues have capitalised on that fact.
They certainly have. They've taken every opportunity, but the referee Logan's decision to give them the advantage of an extra player or two, and they're going to spend what would be 10 minutes to go, a man up as
Sherwood comes from the field. He's had a very good game, tough game.
He's been sharp this afternoon,
he's
Sherwood.
An uncompromising 10, isn't he? Used to obviously be the long-term Wanderers halfback. He shifted into the 10 role and plays a different sort of style of game, with Simmons being the primary, I guess, playmaker out there.
Yeah, no, he's been outstanding this afternoon, Sherwood. One of his better games for this year, as Christensen looks like he's coming to the sideline. A little bit of a break in play with 7 or 8 minutes to go. Game all but done, and
Johnson coming on the field. Of course, no stranger to first grade himself. Simmons goes downfield. So the two Blues, Blair Rush, never thrown a line out before this year, and he's landing them on a penny, as they say.
He's a quick learner. He's done an outstanding job here this afternoon.
Speaking of quick learners, we've had Anthony Partridge, text in. He's taken his son for a trip down the highway just so he can watch Bar TV Sports on the L plates.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Getting him a few hours up. Well done, Pardo. Oh, as a replacement for Sherwood, comes up with a knock on there.
Yeah, it's Jones out there.
Jones comes up with a hard ball, low down, hard, and he's coughed it up. So the Blacks get the scrum 5 metres into the two Blues territory. But as the sun sets and the shadows grow, Gareth, it's all two Blues this afternoon.
We've had a nice little tweet in from the Hamilton coach as well. Recovery. Looks like they're at the sunny side or thereabouts. So they've had their trial and
their light contact trial.
Yeah,
and back at the sunny side. The 4-time game for 5 premiers, the Hamilton side.
At this stage, they are the benchmark in the competition.
Without a doubt.
The way Maitland played today, they will have to pick it up. They'll get a second bite off the cherry next week, of course, against the game tomorrow's winners in between Lake Macquarie and Merewether Carlton.
Very much looking forward to next Saturday, which looks like Hamilton will be playing the two Blues here at number 2.
And we saw last round of the competition, Hamilton really blew away the two Blues as well. So here comes Manu. Manu steps off the left, showing good pace, and now he's driven into the ground as Ben Ham gets in his face, gives him a bit of treatment as well.
Gives him a bit of ham. Yep. Gives him a bit of ham treatment.
Didn't really need to go.
And he's still dishing it out, the captain of the Wanderers side.
And that's a penalty. No, that's a knock on. I thought maybe Ben Ham would have drawn the penalty. That's good aggression shown to the breakdown there, and certainly he's got to be close to be winning this Anderson medal this year, Ben Ham, because he's been everywhere, Ham, as you say.
He's a lay-down misère for the Anderson medal in my book, and he just showed it right there. He's cleaned out 3 times in the same ruck and shortened the Maitland players up and come up with the ball for his side. He's an outstanding leader, and that's why they've been going so well this season.
There's so many good number 8s in the competition, but certainly
he's the best. Don't worry about the best number 8. He's got the player of the year without a doubt.
Wow.
Put the Anderson medal in his bag when he goes home this afternoon for mine.
There we go. Big call. That's a penalty to Maitland. So they finally get a scrum penalty. Quick tap taken by Stafford. Calls for offside, but Logan playing the advantage. And now they pick up off the back for Travis Brook. Stafford goes wide to McCormick. McCormick looking for Robards. Robards wrapped up nicely, and they flood the breakdown again. Good hands by Manu out the back to Clackety. Clackety. It's called back. Forward pass. That was just good hands.
Wow.
Hot potato past the bread or whatever you call it.
Plenty of room out there. Why wasn't he playing advantage?
He was playing advantage. What are you talking about?
Birrell takes it forward.
Stolen by Ben Ham. He's plucked it like your Christmas ham.
He's got it in the bag.
The handbag. So here they come. The two Blues again. Back to Simmons, who kicks across field, trying to find Marsh on the chase as Clackety's forced to stop, turn, and lets it go over the line. And not the best of kick by Simmons, but it got the result at the end.
It was an exceptional kick into the breeze. Wesley blowing across the park, gets it into touch. The old stage of the fullback for the two Blues. Great kick there. Maitland now with the line out. As the black crowd are wandering out down the stairs, they're heading back.
As Dave Waller comes from the field, he's had a very big game in the engine room. There must be a...
Brook off the top, exceptional. Stafford now.
Here comes Clackety up the middle. Clackety placing the ball nicely, and the Maitland Blacks, they want to finish off this game nicely because they don't want to go into next week down on confidence.
And the two Blues will want to keep them out as well, Gareth. They've been outstanding in their defence this afternoon.
Here comes Stafford again. Stafford up to the 22. Loses the ball.
Another turnover. The two Blues have got the ball. Maitland's ball retention has been the issue this afternoon. They've turned it over again. The two Blues come up with it 20 out.
Yeah, another turnover, so they drift across the rails with Jones and Keogh. He's taken, that's probably the best shot he's had on him all day.
Blair rushed with some space. Chase Hicks with some space. Maitland have done well to put him into touch through Chapman and Davidson as they take the quick one. Logan's pulled them back.
Yeah, come back for McCormick, looking to start something, try and get some respectability on the scoreboard. 35-14. So here comes Stafford to McCormick. McCormick, lovely short ball to set the play up. Chapman now will take the ball forward. In behind Robarts, the big Willie So. Willie So. Will he stay or will he go, as you said? And he was stopped in his tracks. They go back to Chapman this time, and they look a little bit disorganised as Chapman loses the ball. Poor carry there by a player of his experience. So a little knock forward.
Yeah, Wanderers came up with the ball, but Piers Morrell, I believe it was, he's turned it over, but Wanderers get the scrum and feed anyway.
Christensen looking like he wants to come back on the field, but he's been told to sit back down by the coaching staff.
Go and get some more splinters, son. You've had enough for the day, the coach said. But anyway, very late in this major semi-final here at number 2 in the Rams NHRU major semi-final.
Yeah, another injury out there, so that's going to stop traffic on the way home with the game almost over.
Yeah,
we'll get peak hour.
Alex Shreed, he had a little bit of trouble getting up a couple of rucks ago, a couple of phases ago, and he's gone back to ground. He's another one that's been outstanding this afternoon.
Yeah, for me, if I was going to name man of the match, he would be getting it.
Well, as we know, you don't get a vote. You can have a vote, but it doesn't count for much. So
we're well into injury time.
We all know at home. I'm sure you all know.
I hope you like the Port Stephens coaches on the way home, because that's what you'll be getting.
I'm sure we all know who's getting the man of the match this afternoon. He's my man. He's my man.
You're a man of many.
Red in the head, good in the bed.
As we go back now to the action. As I said, we're into injury time,
and there's been a fair bit of it this afternoon.
Would it almost be the mercy rule?
I'm asking for overtime. I had to talk for 15 minutes before kick-off, and now we're going, we're nearly 15 minutes. Definitely putting an overtime invoice this afternoon.
Well, you haven't shut up from go to woe, so...
Well, that's what I'm paid to do, is it not?
Debatable. But you've certainly added the colour to the broadcast here for the Titan Group. And
all you got to do is ask the fans, Gareth. That's
indeed.
What you got to do.
I'm sure the front bar at the Country Club doesn't count for the whole of Newcastle rugby, Jared.
Well, you got to take in the Kremlin. I'll be getting the vote from the Kremlin, of course.
Just because one person's patted you on the back of the Country Club doesn't mean you're a world beater, Jared.
I'm hardly hanging the trail up.
As we go back to the action, as Bradford, he takes them down, as Stafford goes for another jinking run off the back. Keogh comes in with that attack around the legs. And they go again. Maitland. They want to score before this game's pulled up. As Willie So goes forward. Not as damaging as he has been. Oh, that's another turnover to your man Benham. I thought he might have been on the ground then.
As the Maitland crowd blow up, Logan has called it. Wanderers come up with the ball.
Yeah, they go again. So looking to get out of their own 22, which they've spent the majority of the game inside the 22. They couldn't get out of there in the first half.
Yeah, well, if we had a stats man, we'd be able to tell you.
Sinclair George up the middle. It's opening up. He throws it away. Brook with a little kick over the top. It's going to bounce up nicely for Schmidt, and Schmidt cleaning up like all good breakaways do.
Yeah,
and these two young breakaways from the two Blues, they've done a lot of hard work in close that goes unnoticed here today.
Yeah, he's done well.
Logan just looking at the clock there.
The ball was out. They asked me.
So in the dying seconds here this afternoon at number 2, Wanderers come up with a scrum feed.
There's still a minute and a bit.
Seconds to go, I'd say, Gareth.
Yeah, not long to go. We saw Logan just checking the clock, and we can hear him telling the players there's not long to go. So
yeah, well, Maitland will be wishing it's all over.
Certainly, where do they go from here, the Maitland side?
Well, it's been a tough afternoon for them. Again, I spoke about it at the start of the game. It was their ball control and discipline that would cost them, and it turns out that that's the way it's the afternoon's gone.
We saw last year the team that got on the roll got into the grand final. Nice pass, using the short side.
Yeah, for mine, the Wanderers have just been too disciplined this afternoon. Maitland, obviously three yellow cards for them.
Yeah, it certainly didn't help their cause, did it?
Undermanned, especially when they were down to 13. And the two Blues, their defence has just been outstanding this afternoon.
Yeah, their goal line defence has been really good, hasn't it?
Well, it's been brutal at times, led by my man. The whole Wanderers front row has been outstanding, the whole forward pack. But defence wins games, in my book, and that's what's got the Wanderers a convincing win here this afternoon.
So here comes McCormick now. McCormick gets them 5 metres out. The ball comes to the back. Travis Brook, he's wrapped up again in some...
Keogh smashes the big number 8.
Good defence. Now McCormick with a short ball, and this will be a try. They go over. After promising so much throughout this game, they'll have the final say, but it won't be enough, Jared.
Yeah, well, consolations really get you home, Gareth. We'll call that a consolation.
Well, he's going to go for the field goal, and looks like it'll be end of game, kicking it away. Who was your best out there before we get ready for tomorrow's action?
I think everybody at home knows Ben, the everywhere man Ham. He was outstanding. He led from the front. He's been in everything, including the cut lunch this afternoon, and he gets my man of the match, without a doubt.
I don't know if he even cuts his lunch. Very good. Thanks very much to everybody for tuning in to the Rams NHRU major semi-final. It is the Wanderers coming out victors, and they will play Hamilton in next week's major semi-final. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'm Gareth Wazick, and we'll catch you next time.